I want to thank Bruno, Robert, Antonella, and Ivan. And you know something? We just have a great member here. I'll introduce him in a minute. But they're from the International Union of Painters and Allied Trades. I also want to welcome our great candidate, York Centre, Michael Kersner. Michael, you're doing a great job out there. Friends, we're 2 weeks into this campaign, and I've never been more excited about the future of Ontario. I hear it time and time again, whether in Timmins, Windsor, North Bay, Durham, right across this province, Ontario's best days are still ahead. But it's up to each of us to roll up our sleeves and get it done. We're the only party saying yes. We're saying yes to rebuilding Ontario's economy with better jobs and bigger paychecks. Yes to keeping costs down for Ontario families and putting more money back in your pockets. We scrapped the license plate sticker fees and the road tolls. We're cutting the gas tax. We're saying yes to working for workers as we get more people into the skilled trades. And we're saying yes to keeping our province and our economy open today and in the future. I'm so proud to have so many people lining up behind our vision and plan for the province we love. Whether it's everyday Ontarians or a growing number of labour unions, every day more and more people are lending their support to our plan to build Ontario. We are seeing it everywhere out there. In every corner of the province, the momentum is building, and especially among the women and men who work in the skilled trades. At the start of our campaign, I was so proud to once again welcome the support of LIUNA, the largest construction union in North America. Recently, for the first time ever, the Boilermaker Union endorsed our party. They got behind our plan for the skilled trades. Yesterday, the International Brotherhood of Electrical Worker Construction Council of Ontario announced its full endorsement of the Ontario PCs. And today, I couldn't be more thrilled to welcome the support of the painters and allied trades. Thank you, Bruno and Robert, and your whole team. Again, thank you, Bruno, Robert, Antonella, Ivan, for your entire team, for your confidence in our plan. We will not let you down. LIUNA, Boilermakers, electrical workers, painters, and allied trades, they know what it takes to build, and they are lining up behind our plan to build Ontario. They know we'll always have their backs, and I'll always have their backs. As we invest over $1 billion to get more people into the skilled trades. The other parties, they've given up on workers. The Del Duca Wynne Liberals released a report that made it very clear that they gave up on skilled trades. And I'm going to quote the Liberals. They're shifting employment from goods-producing industries, in particular manufacturing, to service-producing industries. Those are their own words. They gave up on the workers. As for the NDP, it's no surprise that the workers have stopped supporting the NDP, when years ago the NDP stopped supporting workers. We can't let the Liberals take us back. We can't let the NDP hold us back. We're saying yes to getting more workers into skilled trades. Yes to breaking down barriers so more newcomers can find good work. Yes to building Highways 413 and the Bradford Bypass. Yes to building subways and expanding GO train service. And yes to building 1.5 million homes. And yes to giving good work to skilled workers every step of the way. This is the choice we face on June the 2nd. It's a very clear choice. If you want excuses, if you want more delays and more empty talk, well, you've got a lot of options in this election. But if you want to get it done, you have one choice, the Ontario PCs. We're ready to get it done. Friends, we have the team, we have the vision, and we have the plan. So on June the 2nd, everybody, let's do it. Let's get it done. Thank you, and God bless the people of Ontario. Thank you.
Mr. Ford, one of the things that was striking last night in the debate was how you have three progressive leaders ganging up on one progressive conservative leader. And I'm just wondering, do you feel that you're benefiting from the divide among the Liberals, New Democrats, and Greens, that the Tories benefit from a divided progressive vote?
Well, I appreciate the question, Robert. You know, I think it's just a clear choice out there. People are seeing it. You have three parties that want to raise your taxes. They want to bring back the license plate stickers. They want to put tolls on the road. They want to hike the gas tax. They all in favor of this terrible carbon tax that's jacking up everything. And then we have our party. We're cutting the tolls. We're putting more money back into people's pockets. We sent out 7.1 million checks on the license plate stickers, and we're lowering the gas tax. And I think, you know, people see a very clear choice. We're putting money back into the people's pockets, and they're going to continue making it more unaffordable. And I think that was a choice.
During the last time the Conservatives were in government before you, under Mike Harris and Ernie Eves, unions were largely seen as an enemy of that government. You've seemed to have worked to cultivate them. Here you are getting another union endorsement. I think this is the fourth one. I'm just wondering, you're not the second coming of Mike Harris? Is that what you want to convey, that you believe that unions should work with a Conservative government? Or
yeah.
Or was he wrong then, or are you right now, or are you just
I'm not going to
a
judge
liberal in a blue tie?
You know, I'm not going to judge any other party. I'll tell you, our families, you know, be it my dad or my brother Rob or Michael, we've supported the hardworking women and men in this province, the union members. We always have. I love them. I remember walking by construction sites with Rob, and all of the men and women with hard hats, they'd go wild for Rob. And I'm just so grateful. These are the people that are going to build Ontario, build Toronto, build the whole province. They're out there slugging it out day in and day out, no matter what type of weather it is. And we couldn't run the province without them. I'm so grateful for their support. Very grateful. And I'll always have their backs, always.
Hi, Mr. Ford. Richard from City News. How you doing?
Richard.
You've gone to great lengths to keep your mandate letters to ministers secret. I know that matters before the court and you can't talk about it. But I'm wondering if you'll commit today to making your new mandate letters public should you be elected on June 2nd. Will you commit to that today, sir?
Well, let's see what happens on June the 2nd. God willing, if we're fortunate enough to win, we're going to make our mandate very clear in pretty well every ministry, what our goals are and what we have to achieve. And as we're going to do throughout the election, we'll make it very clear to the people for each minister.
The Liberals this morning, they're saying that they understand that you're going to launch what they say are a fresh round of personal attacks against Stephen Del Duca. Is that true? And if so, why go negative in that way, sir?
Yeah, I don't. You know something? I think it was a pretty fair debate last night. I want to thank TVO and the moderators. I think it went well. I'm not into the personal attacks. I don't need to. I want to stay positive. I want to stay positive on our message. I want to talk about collaboration with the 444 municipalities, which we've had, the 12 other premiers, the federal government. We've all worked so well together, no matter if it's throughout the pandemic or building subways or getting more jobs in the auto sector or supporting the skilled trades. That's the way you do it. You work together, and that's what people expect.
Hi, Mr. Premier. Nicole with the Canadian Press.
Nicole.
You've gained the endorsement of this union and several others, and your government has increasingly been positioning itself as labor-friendly. So why won't you repeal Bill 124 and remove the cap on compensation increases for public sector workers?
Yeah, for the public sector workers, I think the world of them too. They're working their backs off, and when that lapses, I think the first one's in August, we're going to sit down and we're going to treat them fairly. You know, with the nurses, we gave them a 7.6% on the average increase with a $5,000 bonus. I think the world of them. The PSWs, I've always said they're underpaid, overworked. We're the only government that gave them a $3 an increase per hour, and we're going to hire more. We're going to hire 27,000 more PSWs. We've already hired 8,600 new healthcare workers, but we're going to hire thousands more.
And on whether you'll extend the 3-day paid sick day program, you said the PC commitment to workers is to ensure paid sick days are available to them as we get through the COVID pandemic. Does that mean that you feel, or that once you feel that the most critical part of the pandemic is behind us, you'll get rid of those sick days?
Well, I want to sit down and speak to some of the folks, and we'll make that decision when that time comes. But I'll tell you one thing, I'll always support our frontline workers, always. I'll never waver. They're the people, they're the backbone of the province, very simple. Without them, our province doesn't exist.
Hi, Premier. Jack Cowan with the Queen's Park Briefing.
Hi.
You've talked about how the other parties want to raise taxes, but they've all said that they don't want to raise taxes on low and middle income earners. Can you talk about the specific taxes that they're going to raise?
Sure, I'll be very clear. The Wynne Del Duca Liberals, they're the ones who put the tolls in, and they increased them every single year. The license plate stickers, they increased it every single year. And they're quoted that they're going to be in favor of the carbon tax. It's the worst single tax you could ever put on the backs of the people. The groceries go up, gas prices are already 10 cents per liter on the carbon tax. Let's give these people a break. It's tough enough to try to fill up your car. It costs a fortune now. So let's stop gouging people. Do you know what government is? Government doesn't have an income problem. They have a spending problem. And I have a different approach. I would rather put money back into the women and men's pockets behind me, because they're going to spend it a lot wiser than any government will. They're going to stir the economy. And, you know, that's what we're seeing right now. Our economy is just really, really thriving. When the Liberals were in power, they lost 300,000 jobs. They gave up on the workers. They chased all manufacturing and the auto sector out. And, you know, I think differently. We're reinvesting into the women and men in this province. We're going to have a thriving auto sector. We're going to have a thriving skilled trades. We're putting $1 billion into the skilled trades and training, just exactly like facilities like this. And I want to thank Bruno and Robert and his whole team for having these facilities. So guys like Martin can teach someone how to do proper painting, unlike myself that barely got through it. So thanks, Martin. But this is what we need. We need these all across the province. We've put 100, these are staggering numbers. We have $156 billion of infrastructure. Those are staggering numbers. Our biggest challenge, we need more people. We have 338,000 jobs in the waiting in every sector. I just need more people from all over the world come here, and if you don't have a skilled trade, I can promise you, Bruno and Peter and his team are going to train you, and they need more people. Leona needs more people. They all need more people. But these are the facilities that are absolute golden. They teach people a trade, and you know, when they teach them, and when Martin teaches them, they have a job for life, forever. So that's a good thing.
Premier, respectfully, the question was about taxes, and you spoke about the carbon tax, which already exists, and plate stickers and tolls, which are, you know, in the past. So I didn't hear an answer to my question, but also my follow-up is, you talked about anti-racism, or you were asked about anti-racism last night, and you talked about your relationship with different levels of government. Said you had zero tolerance for any kind of hate. Can you talk about any specific tangible things that you've done during your time as Premier on the anti-racism file? Sure
we can. You know something that's close to my heart. I won't tolerate racism for half a second in this province. We're the only government. We're putting $30 million into anti-racism and any form of hate, that we're going to be supporting people from all different cultures. You know, that's what's unique about Ontario. You know, I always say we have, I think it's 180 different ethnic backgrounds here, and 99.9% of everyone gets along together, work together, live side by side together, become friends. So I'm not going to tolerate that for a second. And again, 99.9% of the people get along. You get the odd, you know, Cracker Jack out there, cheese slips off the cracker, and does some crazy thing. They'll pay the price, I promise you. Hey, Jamie.
Mr. Premier, I know the answer you're going to want to give is that the only poll that matters is the one on election day, but the fact is your party does private polls, everyone does private polls, and there's a lot of public polls. How much does polling shape the way you campaign?
Okay, so I won't use the line, you know, the only poll that matters is on election day. But in my opinion, polls are for dogs, you know, and all we have to do is go out there, continue with the message, and the people have a choice. And the choice is so clear that we're either going to go and elect the three options, and they're going to jack up your taxes as sure as I'm standing here, because they did it before for 15 years, and drive hundreds of thousands of jobs out of the province, or they'll have a choice to vote for the PCs that are going to create more jobs, more prosperity, more opportunities, 1.5 million homes, and we're going to just have this province thriving like we have right now. And again, with the helps of the folks behind me and all over the province, there's 550,000 more people working today than they did when I first took office. And there's 338,000 people on the side of the companies waiting to hire people. And that comes down to, you know, government doesn't create jobs. We create the environment for companies to thrive and prosper and grow. And when that happens, so do communities. And there's no better example, I think, than in, you know, Windsor in the auto sector, or in Oshawa. You know, without signing those deals, it doesn't give that town any certainty. But we signed the largest deal with LG and Stellantis, $5 billion in Canadian history. Then we went back a few weeks later, signed another deal of $3.6 billion to keep Windsor facility open and the Brampton facility. That changes people's lives. But we also did that with General Motors in Oakville, and then with Oshawa, the same thing. General Motors there have ramped up in Ingersoll, and then Alliston, and Cambridge, and Woodstock, and Oakville. So there's a lot of towns that are benefiting from the $14 billion of investment the auto sector has put in, and it ties up to our critical minerals in the north, the green steel in Dofasco and Algoma, and then down to the manufacturers. Thanks, everyone. Thank you. Let's go.